Masechet Avodah Zarah, PEREK Bet MISHNAH Vav. Any dvarim she'odei kochavim asurin. The following things are asur from a goy. Ve'en yusran yisran but you're no isur of selling it. Only can't eat it. Halav shehalavo aved kochavim ve'en yisrael ro'ehu. Milk that a goy milked without a Jew supervising. We don't know what's confirmed cow milk if there's no marking confirming it. Whether the whole of Moshe Feinstein for the country, but out of the country, for example, you need the actual milk bottle. It's asur. V'hapat v'hashemen shalen, also bread and oil of a goy we avoid because we don't want to mix families. Rabbi v'betino bet hitru b'shemen. Rabbi and his betin allowed oil in the end, so we don't need to have like shemen Yisrael. Ushlakot. Rabbi also, the Hachamim also made asur cooked foods of goyim to avoid us intermingling. Uchvashin shedarkan tet letochen yain v'chometz. Pickled foods that usually have wine or vinegar in, we're afraid of yain nesach, don't eat it. V'tarit tirufa, chopped up tarit fish. They used to cut this fish very small, and you couldn't tell what fish it was. If the goy serves it to you, you don't know if it's for sure kosher fish, you can't eat it. V'tzir she'en bad daga u'kilbit shusefet. Fish, kosher fish brine that does not have a kilbit swimming in it. A kilbit is a non-kosher fish that was able to swim in this type of kosher fish brine. So if the kilbit is not swimming in it, there's no telling whether or not the fish brine was made kosher or not. The ahilak fish was a small fish that doesn't have fins and scales when it's young, but grows it when it's older. So if you're served it when it's young, and you don't know whether or not it was gonna be a fish with fins and scales, so you can't tell if it's a hilak fish. You can't get it from a goy. The korecha hiltit, also chopped up hiltit, a very sharp vegetable, which if they use a non-kosher knife that had non-kosher meat used on it, and it will be brought out through this vegetable, it'll be azur. Umelach sal kontit, certain type of salt that they used to use pig grease. Hare elu asrin, you're not allowed to eat it. Ve'en yisunin, but there's no isur about selling it. Elu mishnah zayin. Elu muturin b'achna, the following things you're allowed to eat. Halav shehalvo aved kochavim v'yisrael ro'ehu, supervised milk by a Jew that a goy made is mutar. V'had devash, honey, there's no reason to believe that they mixed wine with it. V'havdaniot afapi shem minatafin, grape clusters, even if they're dripping with their own juices, is mutar, because yain nesach doesn't start until middle of the wine pressing or wine making process. Ein ban mishum hechsher mashke. By the way, another halacha is generally something becomes tameh when it's wet. These grapes are not considered able to become tameh when they're wet because the owner is not interested in this, and therefore that does not make it able to become wet. Hechsher tum'ah, as they call it. Uchvashin she'en darkan tet letochen yain v'chometz. Pickled foods that generally do not have wine and vinegar. There's no reason to believe there's wine and vinegar. It's mutar. V'tarit she'en terufa. Tarit fish is not too chopped up that you're able to identify it as tarit, therefore it's kasher. V'tzir sheyesh b'adaga, the fish brine that has the kilbit fishing swimming in it, which is your sign that it's kosher. Ve'aleh she'haltit, the leaf of a haltit, which is not cut, and therefore it doesn't have the non-kosher mixing flavors. V'zatim gus ka'ot hamugaglin, cakes of softened olives, which obviously do not have the wine mixed in. Rabbi Yosef says, olives that drop their pits, yani the pits that fell out when they're picked up, are asur because it looks like they had the wine soaking in them. If they're grasshoppers, kosher grasshoppers that are sold by a goy or from the basket are asur because he might soften them with wine. But if he's selling them from a storage bin, it's mutar because he's not going to pour wine all over his storage. It'll ruin everything. Also regarding teruma, a kohen that's not trustworthy, if he's selling food, you have to suspect that he's selling cholin because it's charged higher. But if it's selling from a storage bin, he won't, because if he's caught, that whole stock is ruined. Amen.